Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of WossyRadio, so today we have got one more space in the final of the second Dragon Gym Challenge. In the previous video, we saw Joe, the dude who came second in the last Dragon Gym Challenge, the lovely Joe Bernard of Omnipoke, make his way into the final, and we have got the lovely Eric from Rare Candy and the lovely Birdkeeper Toby. He's a bit of a big deal. And they're going to be fighting for the final slot in the final. Toby is playing Darkness, no pressure, but Darkness won the first Dragon Gym Challenge. And also got through to qualify using products like this, of course. So Darkness it's been the best typing up to now. Can Toby carry that on? I don't know. Well, actually, I do. I've seen the game, right? But, you know, spoilers. And Eric is going to be using grass with products like this. And Eric wasn't in the previous Dragon Gym Challenge, but he's in this one. And he has got a Vespiquen deck that I like very, very much indeed. Now, you know the deal by now. Usual format, 2 of each card maximum. No GXs, no Pokemon V, no Prism Stars. And you can only use your type or colorless. But it must be more of your type. So now, ladies and gentlemen, sit down, grab yourselves a nice cold beverage, check the links in the description, of course, and enjoy the second semi-final of the second Dragon Gym Challenge. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so we are in round 2 of the Dragon Gym Challenge here, and we got a couple of lovely people for you. Of course, remember, we have only invited lovely people because we got to choose a lineup, and we were selfish, and we only chose people we like. As in lovely people. We're not just playing favourites and picking our friends. What I'm saying is, we picked people we know to be lovely. People with good reputations. People with good standing in the community. That's kind of important to me. I don't know. They're both lovely people. On the top, we have got the lovely Birdkeeper Toby. He's a pretty big deal, didn't you know? He's playing his Dark deck. Now, of course, the previous games are all available. You can find them all in the links in the description, so go check them out. He took down the lovely Kenny Wisdom in round 1. And on the bottom, we've got the lovely Eric from Rare Candy. And he took down defending champion David Hockman back in round 1. Now, both these players have got very, very cool decks. I'm a sucker for Vespiquen, as long-time viewers of the channel will know. So I love Eric's deck with the whole Vespiquen line in there. Does lots of damage as long as you've only got grass Pokemon out on the field. But let's not forget, Toby's deck is pretty gosh darned cool as well. We saw that Guzzlord putting in work for him back in round 1, and Toby's playing Umbreon, and Umbreon is another one of those Pokemon that I have a rather gigantic soft spot for. So let's just say we've got 2 lovely people playing 2 very interesting decks. I'm not going to pick a favourite in this game, and you can't make me. So it looks like Toby is going to start that Alolan Meowth. That is a great starter if he's going second, and Eric has got himself a Combi in the active. And assuming Eric is going first, that is actually giving him an extremely awkward decision. Now, that Alolan Meowth is a particular favourite of mine, but I know it doesn't see a huge amount of play here. But what it does for no energy, if you go second on your first turn, it does 70 damage. Which means the vast majority of basics in Eric's deck are going to be KO'd by that Alolan Meowth. Toby's actually going to probably get a prize here without actually committing any energy to the Pokemon in the active, which is frankly ridiculous. But it's kind of awesome. Like, that Combi, as it stands at the moment, that Combi is definitely going down. Then we do see a Big Charm being discarded here. Big Charm, incidentally, would not save Combi. Combi is a fantastically weak Pokemon. Big Charm gives you an extra 30 HP, but unfortunately that Combi's got 40, which with the extra 30 puts it up to 70, which would not be enough. Now, we do see an Execute hitting the bench here. With a Big Charm, that could take the hit, but it is looking like Eric might literally just have to give up a prize here. Now, he does look like he started double Quick Ball. Now, bearing in mind in this format, you're only allowed to play 2 of each type, as in 2 of each individual card. That is kind of awesome that he's had both his Quick Ball straight away. That is going to help him quite a lot. And I'm just looking at the basics that Eric's got in his deck right now. I think I need to double check the HP on Shuckle here. Yeah, Shuckle could take a hit. It's the only one in his deck that could. No, it couldn't. I'm lying to you. Lost Thunder Shuckle's only got 60 HP. If he was playing Rebel Clash Shuckle, that could take a hit. So essentially, Eric's got to give up a prize here. That Alolan Meowth is a great little tech. Toby putting it in his deck is kind of awesome. Now, we do see Eric searching out his Trico here. Remember, Eric's not actually playing a Sceptile line. What he's doing here is he's playing a Grovyle line. And Grovyle's got Sunshine Grace, which allows him to search for a grass Pokemon and put it into his hand every turn. Really helps with the consistency. So Toby hits an Acrobike first thing here. We do see the Big Charm on the Execute, which will take away a boss's orders onto Execute play. So heads up play there from Eric, but also just gives extra HP for the game. We do see that Toby got a Cynthia off that Acrobike and then benches a Minccino. And now we see the Big Charm coming down onto the Minccino. So Toby really starting to get ready to get that Cinccino later on. Of course, Eric's Pokemon generally hit for 120, and that Big Charm will put Cinccino up from 90 to 120, so it's not going to make a huge difference. But the other thing is that you're only playing 2 of each card. That's the rules. That's the rules that Dragon Shield and Stefan and myself have put down for this format. So what that means is you are less likely to draw into cards here than you would be in a regular game. That all goes to say that thinning out your deck a little bit by playing a Big Charm, when you didn't necessarily need to, just gives you a slightly higher chance of actually drawing into what you need. So I can see a good reason to put the Big Charm down there. Because one of the things Toby needs here, Toby needs an attacker. That's a Lily's Pokédoll, that will buy him a turn, but Toby's going to need an attacker here. He's got the Alolan Meowth, that's going to get a KO on the Combee this turn, that's going to be awesome. But what's Toby going to do next turn? I don't believe Toby is actually playing Alolan Persian here. He is playing 2 of the Alolan Meowth and he's stealing a prize, it's kind of awesome. But there's no Alolan Persian, so Toby is going to need something to start getting rolling next turn here. I mean, what would be awesome would be an Eevee so that he could Umbreon and then take a KO after Eric takes down that Alolan Meowth. Although one of the things that Toby's got to watch here, that Alolan Executor on Toby's side of the field's actually got fairly high HP, especially when it's got the Big Charm on, and as we can see, when it evolves, it's gonna have the Big Charm on. So that is going to be extremely relevant. We do see Guzzlord coming down here. I love the Guzzlord. Alolan Executor's got 190 with the Big Charm. And I love that Guzzlord. But remember, as we said in the first game, Toby's not actually playing any... He's not playing any B-String. Which means getting the 4 energy onto that Guzzlord to do the big attack is going to be very, very awkward. So, we do see that Eric gets his Execute there in the active. Oh, he's got his Grovyle out, and then he drops a Cynthia. Now, this is good from Eric. He's going to get himself a new hand of 6 cards, which is lovely. But he's also then, once he's drawn his 6 cards, played any item cards, whatever, when he's done with what he's doing, then he can go and grab himself a grass Pokemon. And obviously you see the heads up play from Eric there. He's not going and searching out a basic grass Pokemon or an Alolan Executor even before he plays a Cynthia, because he knows if he searches out Alolan Executor and then plays Cynthia and draws the other Alolan Executor, that is a waste of a Sunshine Grace. So what he's doing here is absolutely in the right sequence. He is playing a Cynthia, he's seeing what he's drawing into, and then he's going to go and use Sunshine Grace to draw what he actually needs. We've all been there, right? We've all done things in the wrong order, where we've gone and searched something out and then played a supporter and then drawn into it. And sometimes we've got no choice. You know, it's a quick ball before a professor's research. So we've got to discard our hand before we can do anything. But most of the time, a lot of the time, when you've got situations like this, you want to search as late as possible. Now, obviously, Eric goes for the Alolan Executor here, but I don't think he's actually found himself a Shuckle yet. Now remember, Alolan Executor does 20 damage base, plus 20 more for each type of basic energy in your discard pile, up to 100 extra damage, 120 total. Now with free energy in the discard, he would be doing 80 damage and getting a KO on that Meowth, or Alolan Meowth. But he's not hit the Shuckle. Now, hitting Shuckle would allow him to put 3 cards in the discard, free energy, which would put him up to 80 damage, which would get the KO. And actually, Alolan Meowth's only got 60 HP, so he'd only need 2 types of basic energy. But looking at his discard here, it looks like he's only got 1, so he's only actually doing 40 damage here, which is great for Toby. Toby needs energy on the Guzzlord. Toby needs to get a Minccino out. He needs to get some other Pokemon. He does play an Acrobike here to get himself an extra card. So, really here, Toby needs time. Toby needs time to get rolling. Now, we do see a Croagunk here. Remember, that's going to evolve into a Toxicroak, which will put 3 damage counters on for poison rather than 1. And remember, Toby is also playing Garbodor here. But now, what's Toby doing in terms of attackers? Because he's got the Guzzlord, but that takes a long time to get rolling. The Alolan Meowth has done what it's going to do. It's not attacking anymore. Minccino's not an attacker. Lily's Pokédoll's not an attacker. Croagunk isn't really an attacker. Nor will it be when it evolves up into Toxicroak. And Toby's only got 1 bench space left. So if Toby goes for a Trubbish to evolve into a Garbodor, which he likely will, where does that leave him in terms of attackers? You know, his Umbreon is a stage 1. He takes time to get going. But as it stands at the moment, it looks like Toby's going to be able to get 4 energy on a Guzzlord when Eric's just taken 1 prize, unless Eric starts doing a bit of gusting. Now, Alolan Meowth does do 10 damage. You might as well. It's not exactly going to, you know, it's a 19-hit KO at this stage. He ain't that close. But it's a start. And he can work from here and, you know, improve as the game goes along. And remember, that Guzzlord takes an extra prize when you get a KO. Okay, so now here does come the Shuckle. And now Eric's going to be able to discard 3 other types of basic energy. There's a Psychic, there's a Water, there's a Fighting. Remember, Eric's deck here does just play a bunch of one-off energies. You know, his deck literally plays a bunch of grass, well, I say a bunch of grass energy, 6 grass energy, and then 1 Psychic, 1 Fire, 1 Water, 1 Fighting, 1 Lightning. And really, all he's doing there is just playing those energy to be discarded with Alolan Executor. But now he's hitting 100 of Alolan Executor, and he's got the energy on that bench to execute. So and he does take the prize, so now Toby's evening up the prize trade here. And the Pokédoll goes active from Toby, that should be expected. But what we see from Eric here is he's actually starting to build up his attackers. Now, he's not been able to get an Applin on board to get his Flapple. Remember, Flapple drops 2 damage counters and then shuffles into Eric's deck. And he's not got himself a Combi into a Vespiquen. Remember, it got KO'd early doors. But he is starting to get some, and he doesn't need them, right? He's not under any time pressure here. Oh, it looks like Toby whiffed the energy attachment on the Guzzlord, and that could be huge. There is the Applin from Eric, but remember, Toby needs 4 energy on that Guzzlord. So the plan was, Toby attaches, it's Eric's turn, he takes out the Lily's Pokédoll, but then Toby attaches a 4th energy and starts rolling. What Toby really needed that turn was a Trubbish and an energy, and he had neither. So whereas next turn he could be poisoning and doing damage and taking extra prizes and all that, though remember, you've got to take the prize with Guzzlord to get the extra prize. You don't get it if you take it with poison. It's got to be damage from Guzzlord's attack. But as it stands at the moment, Toby looks like he's in real trouble here. We do see a double Applin coming down from Eric here, so that's potentially an extra 40 damage during his turn. And now Toby's stuck without really much of an attacker on the board. There goes the Lily's Pokédoll, but remember, it's not going to give up a prize. And Toby really is in a bit of trouble here. Because what does he attack with? And and there's his energy, but it's a turn too late. Toby's essentially giving up an extra prize to do so. Still no Cinccino evolving from that Minccino. And now we're in this awkward position where what does Toby do? And essentially what Toby does is he passes. He gives up prizes. He gives Eric more time. But the problem is that's going to lead Eric to victory. This is how Eric wins the game. Toby's deck with the Umbreon taking KOs for a single energy, although to be fair, it does the same amount of damage for the same energy as both Alolan Executor and Vespiquen. And then the Guzzlord taking extra prizes. Toby's got some cool tricks in his deck, but his deck is not cooperating this game. And we can see that Eric is absolutely rolling. He's got an Alolan Executor active. He's got 4 energy in the discard. He's got another Alolan Executor with an energy ready on the bench. He's got his Grovyle ready to search Pokemon. He's got an Applin and he's got a Flapple. And now he can start doing that thing where he uses Flapple, drops the energy, drops the damage as he's doing now. 2 damage anywhere he likes. It's going to be on the Guzzlord, isn't it? Because that's what he needs. Oh no! He's actually going for the Minccino, hoping he can take it out before it evolves. And it's been a couple of turns, so maybe he's going to be able to. And he uses it, but then he can immediately search out the Applin using Grovyle. And this is starting to look very, very good. He doesn't even need the Vespiquen yet. Remember, Vespiquen only works if you've got 5 bench grass Pokemon. So as good as an attacker it is, it's actually kind of super awkward. And the issue is, I don't think Toby's actually taken a KO here. Oh, now he does find the Evolution Incense. That is absolutely huge. That is going to allow him to go and search out his Cinccino, which then is going to allow him to have a bit of a draw engine. You know, discard a card from his hand, draw 2 cards for every turn it's out. So that is going to be really, really good if it's not too late in the game to do so. And Toby going a little bit baller there with the pre-release promo of it. But remember, Toby's only doing 120 damage. And that Alolan Executor's got 190 HP, 180 with a 10 damage on. So he's really not that close to a KO. Now, the good news is it's going to even up. So let's assume nothing changes. There's no gusting or anything like that. Toby's going to not take a prize, and then Eric's not going to. And then Toby's going to take 2 and Eric's going to take 1. And then both players are going to be down to 3 prizes remaining. Oh, it's boss's orders on the Grovyle. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is pretty big. Now Toby gets a KO on the Grovyle. The engine for Eric, which is searching stuff out, is going to go. And Toby's going to take 2 prizes right now. And if Toby can find a boss's orders next turn... Because Eric's not getting a KO on this Guzzlord, it's just not happening. So if Toby can take a double prize next turn with the boss's orders, that's going to leave him with 1 prize remaining in order to win the game. That boss's orders was huge, and taking out the Grovyle was fantastic. Remember, these Alolan Executor need to give way to Vespiquen, and Eric is relying on the extra damage from the Flapple. Both of these are relying on being able to get all of his Pokemon out. And that is not possible when there's no Grovyle. Now, we do see a wonderful heads-up play there from Eric. Eric actually just used Scoop Up Net to pick up the Shuckle. Remember, Shuckle is played for the ability, but after the ability is used, it's then pointless. So what Eric does is he Scoop Up Nets it, and then Pokemon Communications it for a Trico, so that next turn he can have a Grovyle up and rolling, and he's not wasting a bench space on that Shuckle. That was an awesome play. And Eric is still very much in 2-hit KO territory. Even with the Big Charm, Guzzlord's got 180 HP. So Guzzlord is going down next turn. There's nothing Toby can really do here. There are 2 attackers that can KO Guzzlord next turn. Toby has got to accept the fact that Guzzlord goes down. What Toby needs is... he really needs a boss's order to take 2 prizes this turn, and he needs to start setting up an alternate attacker, which is a lot to ask with just a Cinccino on the board. But that's what it's going to take for Toby to really stay in this game. Toby's done very well getting the Guzzlord up, getting the extra prizes, etc. Now there goes the Trubbish, and the Trubbish is going to be good for poison, but is he going to be attacking with it? And we do see the Cynthia coming down, and that's pretty bad if I'm honest with you. Guzzlord, you need to be taking KOs. 4 energy, 120 is not good. Umbreon, Alolan Executor, Vespiquen, those are the Pokemon in this game that are doing 120 for a single energy. Doing 120 for 4 energy is not an efficient use of resources. But if you're taking 2 prizes when you take a KO, that is absolutely a good use of resources. But that's where the boss's orders comes in. And against a deck with weaker Pokemon, it wouldn't be an issue. Toby's now going to have to take out those Alolan Exeggutor in order to win the game. And I honestly don't know if he can. Now, we do see a Quick Ball coming down here, so Toby's going to be able to get himself a basic Pokemon. He's going for the Krogunk here. He's working on the Krogunk the Toxicroak Garbodor combo. Garbodor, automatic poison if there's a stadium in play, which at the moment there isn't. And then Toxicroak moves it from 1 damage counter for poison to 2. And essentially here, Toby's going, look, you've got high HP on your Pokemon. I'm going to need this extra poison damage in order to actually get the KO. Love where he's going with it. But there is no stadium in play at the moment. And Garbodor is a free energy attacker. And Toby's playing no twin energy here, just darkness energy. So Garbodor's not attacking next turn. If Toby can find his other Lily's Pokédoll, and potentially just stick a Lily's Pokédoll in the active and make Eric take poison without taking a prize, yes. But as it stands at the moment, Eric's back to doing what he's doing. He's got his Grovyle. Remember, Eric has gone full bore grass here, so that means that he's going to have to survive without those draw things like Pidgeotto, like Cinccino that everyone else has access to because they're colorless Pokemon. Now we do see another Shuckle coming down here. It might be the same one, to be fair. This is putting more energy in the discard. This means he's hitting the maximum 120 and he's thinning out his deck. You see he drops a grass energy there. He's just thinning out his deck so he can draw into what he wants more easily because he doesn't think he's going to need that energy, like we saw with Toby in the Big Charm earlier in the game. So we do see a Pokegear here. Eric is looking for a supporter. And honestly, Eric's actually behind on prizes right now. He's taken 2 and Toby's taken 3. But as we look at the board here, Eric is in prime position. He might not have a draw engine, but he's got that Grovyle and he's playing single energy attackers and it worked against David and it's working for him here. Toby's just about to lose his Guzzlord, and I don't see what he's attacking with next turn. I mean, he could literally attack with Trubbish. Oh, we see a Scoop Up net coming down here. I like this play from Eric. Eric knows he's not really under any time pressure in terms of KOs coming down. So what he does is he uses Scoop Up net. He picks up the Exeggutor here, promotes the benched one, benches an Execute with an energy, and now he's absolutely fine. He's now absolutely rolling. That was a very, very good play from Eric there. Now he's gone, well, I had one big Pokemon that was on the verge of being KO'd. Now, I don't want to give up any prizes to Toby, so I'm actually going to take it off the board. And now it's not on the verge of getting KO'd. Now, we do see an Acrobike. Both players playing that really just for added consistency because, again, we're giving an alternate format here. We're saying that both players can only have 2 of each card in their deck. So that is going to... Oh, and he actually discards an Acrobike using Acrobike. And we're basically saying to the players, you know, you got to try and... You got to use some extra things. You got to play around a little bit to try and get the consistency. And both Toby and Eric have gone, right, you know what can help us get some consistency here? Acrobike. Also, Great Ball. Eric's dropping a Great Ball. And he gets himself an Applin. And this is how Eric's going to basically round out the game. Oh, and he gets himself a... Has he just gone Flapple? Okay, so he's gone Great Ball, and I believe... Oh, and there's a Netball as well. There we go. I did wonder how he was searching out the second Pokemon there. We had a Great Ball and a Netball played at once. Save us a little bit of time. So this is very, very nice play from Eric here. He's getting his board set up absolutely beautifully. He is doing very much what he needs to do. Now we see the Flapple coming down onto the Applin here. That's going to help him out. Going to get a couple of extra damage if he needs them. And it looks like he's just taken a KO on the Guzzlord. He's doing a full 120 here, so no issues about getting a KO. And this is where things start getting really scary for Toby. Because Toby doesn't have an attacker right now. So we see the Trubbish going up. And that Trubbish is probably just going to... Well, neither Trubbish nor Garbodor has a single energy attack, and Toby plays no energy acceleration or multiple energy cards. So he's going to get poison. Oh, okay, so he's got the Garbodor Toxicroak combo. That is going to poison Eric's active and mean it takes 3 damage counters between turns, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Giving up that prize in the early game, or a couple of prizes in the early game, really didn't matter for Toby here, because he was in the enviable position of being able to just go, look, I'm going to take extra prizes with Guzzlord, I don't care. Now, we do see a Marnie coming down here, but one of the issues for Toby is that Garbodor's got 120 HP. And the Alolan Executor's doing 120. And there's another one there on the bench as well. And to be fair, there's Flapple. So even 160 is well in Eric's range right now, and Garbodor's got 120. Even with a Big Charm, and we know that Toby has used both his Big Charm, even with a Big Charm, it wouldn't survive. And Toby's got no single energy attackers. And this is the part of the game where we are almost certainly, and I don't actually know the result of this game, I've tried to keep it a secret. This is the part of the game where it looks like Eric is going to pull away. Because single energy attackers, and anyone that follows my channel will know I love single energy attackers. My pet deck for the past couple of months has been Excadrill Spiritomb, and I love them because they're single energy attackers. I hate having a Pokemon in play and then going, oh, but I don't have the energy. Now there's energy acceleration, cards like Welder, etc. that can help, but I love single energy attackers. And that's what Eric has got here. Now, the good news is Toby's got that Eevee down, which is going to give way to Umbreon, a one-prize attacker that I'm a huge fan of which I'm a huge fan. But Eric's HP is too high. And you'll notice, we do see a boss's orders here on the Garbodor, because that is it's the only thing that's got energy. And Eric here has seen exactly what we've seen. Oh, and we're going to see Flapple as well. So if that Eevee doesn't evolve, that Eevee's going down next turn. I think Eric can take out that Eevee next turn as well. And then he's taking extra prizes. And things are looking really bad for Toby here. He's about to go down to no energy on the board. He's got no attacker. Now, if he's got Umbreon energy in hand, he can attack into the Alolan Executor. And he puts the Eevee up, so maybe he does. Oh, there's the Evolution Incense. That's just as good. And here's what's really sad for Toby here. If he hits 120 with Umbreon, does 120 if he had a Pokemon KO'd the previous turn, and he gets the Garbodor, such he's got the poison and the extra damage, though remember, there's still no stadium in play, so he still cannot activate Garbodor's ability until there is a stadium. Even if he gets all of that, and he still needs Garbodor stadium energy, he's not there yet. Even with all of that, Alolan Executor survives with 10 HP remaining. And that's why it looks like Toby's in trouble here. Because it doesn't look like he's going to have anywhere to go. It doesn't look like there's anything he can really do to save himself here. I don't know how he comes around from this. There's the energy. And Toby's doing everything he can right now, okay? He is doing everything that he can in order to put himself in the best position to keep attacking and keep trying to take prizes. But the fact of the matter is, Toby had that chance earlier in the game, and he didn't have the second boss's orders to use with that Guzzlord. And I think that was the part of the game where... I think that's where it all went wrong for Toby. He got the Guzzlord, he got the 4 energy on, he got the extra prize, he did a really good job stalling until he got to that stage. He did a really nice job taking out the Grovyle, but he needed one more KO. And honestly, a lot of what this game is coming down to here is just Alolan Executor's HP is too high. It's as simple as that. Eric is winning this game based on Alolan Executor having HP, and Toby's attackers, like Eric's, are really kind of focusing in on that 120 number. And Toby's not been able to get the poison combo rolling, and that's been it, basically. That is essentially what's happened here. The 160 HP, it's too much. And Toby's run out of attackers. And now Eric's going to go down to 1 prize remaining. He's going to be up by 2 prizes. He's got attackers on the field. He's got Flapple ready to go. It seems, and we do see an Ordinary Rod coming down here, getting a Combi and an energy back. And then you see Eric counting his energy there, just going, wait, I need 5 energy in a discard to max out Alolan Exeggutor's damage. Hey, I've got 5 in the discard, even if I get this grass energy back. Let's do this. And we see kind of a reversal from earlier in the game. Earlier in the game, Eric is discarding an energy, so his deck is a bit thinner and he can find what he needs more easily. And now later in the game, he's putting that energy back in his deck, because actually he might need to draw into it. Now, we do see a Marnie coming down here, but I honestly, at this stage, I don't see how Eric loses this game. Eric attacks with Alolan Exeggutor this turn, takes surprise, goes down to 1. Next turn, he's got an Alolan Exeggutor ready, plus he can have double Flapple, so he can do 160, and next turn, Eric will be taking his final prize and winning the game. And I don't think there is anything at this stage that Toby can do about it. If Toby could KO both the Alolan Exeggutor at one go, that would win him the game, I reckon. But there is nothing in Toby's deck that has the potential of doing that. But we still see both players playing it out, and we see this a lot, and this is a good thing. Eric's going, I am 90% sure I win the game next turn. But I don't know what Toby's playing. I don't know if he's got any surprises coming down. And I'm not going to risk it. And I like this. I like what Eric's doing. While we got a minute, do check all the links in the description. There's links to Rare Candy and Birdkeeper Toby on YouTube. Both great channels you should definitely check out. Links to their Twitters. Links to, you see the mats and sleeves these dudes are using. There are links to go and buy them at TCG Player because it is a Dragon Gym challenge. It's not sponsored by Dragon Shield, alright? Let's be clear about that. This is not a sponsored tournament. This is a tournament run by Dragon Shield and Stefan Eriksson and myself. It's not sponsored by Dragon Shield. They are running it with myself and Stefan. There we go. But they've still given the lovely mats and sleeves and all to the players to help them get rolling. And they are kind of cool. So down goes the Applin. And I'm not just being a shill here, because look at my openings I've been doing lately. Go and look at the mat that I've been choosing to use when I've been doing openings lately. Just go and have a little bit of a gander. That should tell you what you need to know. So, we do see Turffield Stadium coming down here. Now remember, Turffield Stadium lets you search for a grass evolution Pokemon. Does anyone think, here's a nice question for you. Do we think Eric just didn't draw into that earlier? Or do you think it is not a coincidence that Eric is finally placing Turffield Stadium down? On the turn, he takes out Trubbish and guarantees that Toby won't have a Garbodor, whose ability only activates when there's a stadium in play. It might just be a coincidence, or it might be that Toby has been going for the entire game, yeah, I'm not benching Turffield Stadium and activating Garbodor's ability. If you put a stadium down, I might. And we see Toby finally draws into the Chaos Vortex. He's got his Lily's Pokédoll. He's got an energy on the Toxicroak. But I really don't think it matters at this stage. Ooh, Koga's Trap. This isn't going to win Toby the game. It's a turn too late, but I love this play. So now we've got Poison and Confusion on the Alolan Exeggutor, which means Toby hits 150. The Toxicroak is out, so the Poison puts it to 150. And if Eric attacks and flips Tails, he gets KO'd. Oh, I still think Toby's a turn. No, he's got too many prizes left to take. This is a phenomenal play from Toby here, because he's basically putting Eric in a position where he's got to retreat the Alolan Exeggutor, and if he doesn't, he's going to lose that Alolan Exeggutor in the active. And it does have a retreat cost of 3, so he's almost certainly not. So if he flips heads, he wins the game. Oh, it's a Tate and Liza. So there is a switch into the other Alolan Exeggutor, KOs the Umbreon, and that, ladies and gentlemen, will be the game. And then, incidentally, I'm playing for Alpha Sapphire at the moment, and I've just got to the city where I'm going to have to fight Tate and Liza. What lovely timing. Commiserations to Toby, congratulations to Eric, thank you to both of these dudes for taking part. That was a fun game that I enjoyed very much. There's a bunch of links in the description, go check them out, you know the deal at this stage. And, in 3 days' time we're going to have the next game, which you're going to want to check out. So comment, like, subscribe, check the links in the description, all that good stuff. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG.